Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about Angular CLI MCP server, how to set it up and what is this for. Angular MCP tool, or the CLI MCP server, was released with Angular version 22 on the 3rd of June 2026. This is a new release experimental feature, less than 2 weeks old. What is this for? When I first started coding with AI, one problem with Angular is that AI a lot of times generated outdated code. Angular was released every 6 months. The Google has a very frequent release schedule, and every time a new version is released, the coding standard will change slightly. Sometimes it changes a lot. For example, back in Angular version like 1920, when I asked AI to generate some code, it would still use the old ngIf syntax instead of the @if syntax. The coding standard has been updated, but the AI is slow to pick up. Why? Because a large language model was trained on historical data. It is not as smart as human who understands the different versions. It's a large language model that uses historical data to inform its decisions. Now, with such frequent upgrade cadence by Google, basically every 6 months you receive a new version of Angular, the large language model will always generate a lot of outdated code. So this Angular CLI MCP server can be used to improve user experience, improve AI-assisted coding. Here is my Visual Studio Code, the text editor. I installed GitHub Copilot Chat, an AI agent that helps people write code. And the large language model I use is Cloud Haiku. Without the Angular CLI MCP service, when I ask a question about Angular in this chat window, the Cloud Haiku, the large language model, will likely bring up outdated code. With now Angular MCP tool, when I provide some prompt, the agent will send the prompt to the large language model. The large language model checks if the prompt is related to Angular. If it's related to Angular, it will get additional information from the Angular CLI MCP service, such as the version of Angular running, maybe some other structured data like my folder structure and so on and so forth. With this additional information, the large language model will be in a much better position to provide coding assistance, to avoid outdated code, because the large language model already knew that I'm running Angular version 22, not Angular version 19. So this additional information will help prevent outdated code generated by AI. So it's a very useful tool. Now let's check out the official documentation. If you scroll down, there are a list of different kind of text editors. There's Cursor, Firebase Studio, and also Visual Studio Code. Because I use Visual Studio Code, I will follow this instruction. Create a directory called .vs Code and a file under this directory called mcp.json. Then you add the code below to that file. I did exactly that. Here, my project root directory is Serenity. There's a client directory housing my Angular frontend and a server directory housing my Nest.js backend. Under the root directory, I have a .vs Code folder, and then there's mcp.json with the code copied from the official documentation. Once you have this file set up, you can click on this gear icon, the open configurations, customization. MCP server, you can see there's an Angular CLI is already running. So this Angular CLI MCP server is served by Angular CLI. You can right-click to stop the server or start the server. If you anticipate that you will be writing Angular code, you should always start the server. Now, when you ask a question in this chat window, the large language model will check, is this question or prompt related to Angular? If so, it will get additional information from that service, and then your answer provided by the large language model will be more relevant to your project. Okay, I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you for watching. Bye.